Oh, hey guys. I didn't know you were stopping in today. I'm just sitting here, walking down my hallway by my Shining poster and my Night of the Living Dead poster, eating a potato. I guess I'll stop and talk to you. So, how's your week going? Welcome to week 3 of semester 2, quarter 4, American Literature with your buddy, Mr. Rubin. The solitude. The solitude. We've all been spending a lot of time with limited people. I wonder how that's treating you. For me, I've had my ups and downs. I've gotten a little bit lonely at times. What's really killing me, you guys, most of you guys know I'm really tight with my nieces and nephew, and I can't see them. So that's killing me a little bit. That kind of hurts. I was watching a video of my nephew yesterday, or we were talking on FaceTime, and he said, "You come here," and that just broke my heart, man. So these are tough times, but we push through. I appreciate you guys doing my work. I'm really trying to keep it relatively accomplishable, and also at the same time, I'm trying to make it interesting and relevant. I hope you enjoyed the poem from last week, Short Order Cook. I like that poem because on the surface level, it just seems like a kind of almost silly poem. But then the more you look into it, the more you realize it's kind of got some cool messages about responsibility and honor, which I think is important personally. The poem that I have this week for you guys to look at, and I'm going to I've got like a whole bunch of ideas of different things that I want to share with you guys. Some music videos, some songs, some passages of prose, so it's not going to be all poetry. But poetry works well, in my opinion, because it's short and it has all those elements and merits of literature, and there's all kinds of interpretive possibilities of looking at abstract poetry. This week, I've included a poem with you guys that I'm actually really, really excited to share. It's by a really interesting American writer named Charles Bukowski. If you're interested, look him up. There's a lot of really cool stuff about him. He wrote some great novels, and he's really more known for his poetry. And his poetry is very, very comprehensible. It's very easy to understand. Bukowski one time said that if a genius is someone that can say something really complex in a simple way, as opposed to a kind of a fraud or a fake genius is somebody that could say something really simple in a complex way. So the idea of good writing, according to Charles Bukowski, is writing that expresses something really complex, but in a relatively simple and understandable way. I know you guys have probably read poetry in the past. I've probably even forced you to read poetry or literature where you didn't understand what they were saying. The poem this week is very straightforward, and it's very cool. You guys are going to dig it. I've been watching it because I got a video of it for you guys, and I've been watching that video and listening to it today and thinking about it, and I came up with my assignments based on it, and I'm pretty jacked, pretty fired up for you guys to read that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. I've been loving seeing your guys' work and reading what you guys have to write. And there's going to be a little informal, reflective writing piece this week where you guys get to express yourself. And now's the time, guys. If you don't have things to say right now, you need to do some soul searching, because we're all feeling things emotionally, and this is the time when we kind of push ourselves to say things, because it helps to clear your mind out, to get those words down, whether it's speaking them or writing them. I'm always a big advocate of the spoken word, the written word, the power of language, the magic of language. You guys know how I feel about it by now. I wanted to say one other thing with my video today, something about perspective. My little brother and I were talking on the phone today, and he mentioned that he went into Schnucks for the first time. He hasn't gone to the store this whole time that we've been on this quarantine, or whatever you want to call it. And so he went into Schnucks for the first time, and he said he felt anxiety when he went in there. He felt like he was breaching some boundary or crossing some line, and he felt like he was doing something forbidden just walking into a grocery store. And I got to thinking about how perspective affects everything. We've all walked into a grocery store thousands of times in our lifetime. Maybe not thousands, but lots of times. And never would you feel guilt for that, or feel weird, or feel scared to go shopping. But now you do, or you might, because perspective shifts. And I wanted to tell you guys something about a really classic piece of classical literature by Plato, and it's called The Allegory of the Cave. And you can look it up on the internet. I might even actually do an assignment on The Allegory of the Cave later on this quarter. But what basically happens in that play is that there's these people who are chained to this wall in the cave, but they have their backs turned to the opening. And they've lived there their whole life. And all they've ever experienced of reality is the images of the shadow that are projected on the cave wall in front of them. So they have no idea that there's this whole other world behind them, let alone a whole other bigger world outside of the cave. And then one of these people is freed and let out of the cave, and he realizes that his limited perspective was pathetically paltry. It was just completely empty. He had no idea what all was out there. And this sort of becomes this allegory, and an allegory is a piece of writing that tells some kind of moral lesson about life or politics or whatever it is, in this case about perspective. And it's all about how our perspective changes. And I was thinking about that. And I was thinking about my brother going into Schnucks today and having his perspective change. And I was thinking about how my own perspective right now might be one of depression and anxiety or feeling lonely. And I thought to myself, you can't necessarily change what's outside of that cave. You can't necessarily change what's going on in the world. Certainly, I don't have the power to destroy a virus. I'm not a scientist. Very few people have that kind of intellectual capacity. So I have to deal with what we're dealing with as you do. But what we can control, what we can alter, is our reaction. And if we want to be depressed, lonely, angry, that would be very easy. But if we want to fight against those feelings and be strong and be optimistic and use this time to build something or learn some skill or write or clean your house or get in touch with someone that you haven't spoken to in a while, do that. You can't control what's happening, but you can control how you respond to it. And with that being said, I know that this is brutal, that the school year has been altered irrevocably at this point, and I especially want to express my sorrow to the seniors whose senior year has been essentially robbed from them. But you can't let that diminish your accomplishment. You still are graduating. We will do something special for you. You know that Mr. Bishop's not going to let you down. You know that me and your teachers are not going to let you down. And you guys are still going to graduate. And that sucks that things changed. But nothing can stop the fact that you guys worked through all the difficulties that life threw your way to make it out and to graduate. And this is one more obstacle that you're going to crush. And I'm proud of you guys for that. And I miss you guys. Hopefully these videos are cool. I don't know, maybe I'm annoying. If nothing else, the posters are cool. Night of the Living Dead, The Shining. I've watched The Shining twice. That's a good movie about isolation. You should watch it. Although it's kind of scary, especially if you're alone. Alright guys, I'm going to finish this potato. Have a great day.